When God begins the process of elevation, the first move is not a public announcement or a wave of blessings, but a quiet separation. Most people expect that being chosen will come with immediate favor and recognition, but in the divine pattern, God does the opposite. He removes the chosen one from familiar circles, comfortable friendships, and environments that once felt safe. This separation often feels like loss, but in reality, it is a sacred repositioning. God cannot pour a great destiny into a heart still attached to the need for approval from others. So, he begins by disconnecting you from voices that would limit your growth, even if those voices belong to people you love. The chosen ones don't walk away because they are proud or distant. They walk alone because their spirit stops fitting into old conversations and small mindsets. There comes a moment when your heart begins to crave more purpose, more clarity, more God. You start to feel that the laughter you once enjoyed no longer satisfies, and the company you used to seek begins to feel heavy. That is not depression, that is transformation. God is stretching your spirit and preparing you for a level others are not willing to pay the price for. In this season, misunderstandings rise. People say you've changed, and they are right. You can't remain the same when you've been marked by destiny. God separates not to punish, but to protect. He knows that premature exposure kills destiny. If Joseph had stayed close to his brothers, he would have died before reaching the palace. If Moses had remained in Egypt's system, he would have never encountered God in the burning bush. Separation is a shield, not a sentence. When God chooses you, he hides you. He hides you in silence, hides you in prayer seasons, hides you in unseen battles where no one claps while you fight. This hidden season is not a sign that God has forgotten you. It is proof that he is preparing something too great to be shared with those who do not understand the weight of your calling. Many want the promise, but few can survive the process. That is why not everyone walks this path. It is narrow, lonely, and quiet, but it is also holy. If you feel God pulling you away from circles you once belonged to, don't resist it. Don't cry over doors that no longer open. Sometimes God closes doors gently, not because you did something wrong, but because he saw something ahead that you couldn't. Separation is not the end, it is the beginning of divine elevation. When God separates a person, it is not just to remove them from people, but to tune their spirit to his frequency. In the noise of life, with constant opinions, judgments, and expectations, the voice of God gets buried under the weight of human influence. So, he leads the chosen ones into a season where conversations become few, distractions fade, and the soul begins to crave silence. In that silence, something powerful happens. You begin to hear what others cannot. The world calls it loneliness, but heaven calls it alignment. In this quiet place, God does not shout. He whispers, and only those who have been set apart can hear that whisper. Many people want to be used by God, but they remain surrounded by constant noise, social noise, emotional noise, mental noise. They want divine direction while holding tightly to public validation, but the chosen understand that you cannot hear God clearly while trying to please everyone around you. So God gently pulls you away, sometimes through circumstances that feel painful. People stop calling, invitations slow down, familiar bonds loosen, not because something went wrong, but because something divine is about to begin. It is in those moments of silence that God begins to reveal identity. He starts to speak to you about who you truly are, beyond what people have labeled you as. When Joseph was rejected by his brothers and thrown into a pit, it seemed like abandonment. But in that moment of isolation, God was breaking every human label off him. He was no longer just the little brother, he was a future ruler. When Jesus went into the wilderness alone, it was not a place of defeat, it was a place of confirmation. Heaven opened not in the crowd, but in solitude. This is why chosen ones cannot remain addicted to noise. They begin to value stillness. Their spirit becomes sensitive to even the smallest nudge from God, while others run from silence because they fear being alone with their thoughts. The chosen start to embrace it because they know that revelation is born in quiet places. In loneliness, they discover new strength. In stillness, they gain new vision. If you are in a season where God has silenced the noise around you, don't rush to fill it. Don't run back to what He removed. Sit in it, lean into it, because in that sacred silence, God is not just removing voices, He is preparing to speak. Not everyone around you is prepared to handle the weight of what God is building inside you. Many will say they support you, but only until your calling starts to challenge their comfort. Destiny has a price, and most people admire it from a distance, but are unwilling to carry its burden. This is why God doesn't explain your journey to everyone, because your calling is not a community project. It is between you and Him. People may walk with you in the beginning when things look ordinary, but the moment your path becomes uncommon, they begin to withdraw. They cannot understand why you pray the way you do, why you protect your peace, why you no longer entertain meaningless conversations. To them, it looks like you're being distant. To God, it looks like you're getting ready. When God marks you for a higher assignment, He also shields you from those who would drain your spiritual energy. Some people want proximity to your gift, but not responsibility for the journey. They like the idea of greatness, but not the discipline, sacrifice, fasting, tears, and obedience it demands. So God allows a gentle separation to happen, not to isolate you in pain, but to preserve what He is planting in you. If you keep explaining your vision to people who cannot see, you will exhaust your spirit. That is why God separates you before He reveals the next step. Vision cannot survive in an atmosphere where it constantly needs approval. Look at Joseph. His own brothers could not handle the dream God showed him. They didn't hate him because he was ordinary. They hated him because he was chosen . The chosen often carry a light that threatens those who are comfortable living in the average. It's not pride, it's purpose. Your presence becomes a reminder that more is possible, and not everyone wants to be reminded. So instead of trying to convince people to believe in you, God trains you to walk quietly in purpose, letting your transformation speak louder than explanations. When you start distancing yourself from certain environments, it's not rebellion, it's protection. You are not better than others, but you are different in calling. And difference is often misunderstood. Some friendships will fade, not because they are evil, but because they no longer align with where God is taking you. When the season shifts, so do the people assigned to walk with you. If you feel misunderstood right now, don't fight it. God is not asking you to explain yourself. He is asking you to obey. Those meant to walk with you in the next chapter will recognize your calling without needing an explanation. God never promotes without testing. Before He trusts you with influence, breakthrough, or a platform, He first examines the posture of your heart in hidden places. Anyone can worship when life is comfortable, and anyone can claim faith while surrounded by support. But God watches how you respond when no one is encouraging you, when doors seem closed, and when prayers take longer to be answered. The wilderness season is designed to reveal what applause usually hides. When you no longer have an audience, God sees your true devotion. This test of isolation is not to break you, but to prove you. He doesn't test to get information. He already knows your heart. He tests to reveal what's inside you, and to refine what is not yet ready for where you are going. Think of David tending sheep in secret fields. No prophet announced his training season. No one applauded his harp playing or his courage when fighting the lion and the bear. Yet, it was in that lonely place that God was building a king. Public victory is always prepared in private battles. The chosen ones often feel unseen. They pray in rooms where no one hears them, cry through nights no one knows about, and fight silent wars that don't make it to social media. But heaven sees it all. God is not ignoring you. He is recording every moment of your faithfulness. He is measuring your endurance, watching your obedience, and testing your ability to remain humble even when you feel forgotten. Many ask God for big blessings but fail small tests. They want Goliath, level victories but avoid the lion, and bear training seasons. God's test is simple. Can you remain consistent when it feels like nothing is changing? Can you keep praying when the answer seems delayed? Can you still worship when your heart feels tired? This is where many people give up, not realizing that the test often feels the hardest right before elevation. The enemy whispers, "If God was with you, why are you still waiting?" But God is whispering something else. "Keep going, I'm watching." Your private faithfulness is what qualifies you for public favor. Those who pass the test of loneliness step into a season where God promotes them without needing permission from anyone. He opens a door that no man can shut and places you in positions you didn't have to fight people for, because you already fought your battle in prayer. This is why chosen ones don't rush. They understand that God's timing is never late. It is always prepared. The most powerful encounters with God do not happen in crowds. They happen in the secret places where only the chosen dare to go. Throughout Scripture, every person God used mightily had a moment where they walked alone and met Him in a way others could not understand. Moses was alone on the mountain when he encountered the fire of God. Elijah was alone in the cave when he heard the gentle whisper. Jacob was alone when he wrestled with the angel and had his name changed. Jesus himself withdrew from the disciples to pray in solitude, and it was in those moments that heaven touched earth. Walking alone is not a punishment, it is an invitation. God allows isolation because there are revelations reserved only for those who step away from the crowd. In the noise of life, you hear people. In the silence of obedience, you hear God. And when God speaks directly to your spirit, one word from Him carries more strength than 1,000 opinions from people. The chosen ones are not just separated to suffer. They are separated to see what others cannot see. In your quiet moments, when it feels like no one understands what you're going through, God is closer than ever. This is when He begins to reveal secrets about your identity, your destiny, your authority, and your assignment on earth. These divine downloads don't come in busy schedules filled with distractions. They come in peaceful moments where your heart is still and heaven finds room to speak. The chosen ones begin to realize that solitude is not empty, it is full of God's presence. In that sacred quiet, your spirit becomes sensitive. You start to discern things more clearly. You feel warnings in your spirit before danger arrives. You sense when to move, when to wait, when to speak, and when to stay silent. This level of clarity is not available to everyone. It is a gift given to those who stayed in the lonely place long enough to hear God's voice. If you are in that season now where it feels like God has pulled you away from everything familiar, know this: heaven reveals its deepest secrets to those who don't fear walking alone. Your loneliness is not empty space, it is holy ground.